In today's day and age, AI is taking over the world. So naturally, I decided to ask myself a question. Can I fully let AI control my real estate wholesaling pipeline? So today we're going to test exactly that. I know eventually we're going to get to the point where AI is going to take over the world and me and you are going to be absolutely obsolete, but I'm curious if at the moment it can actually do sales. I'm going to show you exactly what happened, what conversations it had, and what are the results at the end of this video. I've been texting leads for years, and something that I've been really wanting to do for the past 6 to 12 months is that I've been wanting to step away from wholesaling because there's a lot of things I really want to do instead. But I also don't want to let go of the business completely, so what I've decided is that can I just replace myself with AI? So here's the full scenario that we're working with. AI is going to text using a platform that I've created with Airtable and NAN. AI is going to handle most of the simple conversations, because if you know this, actually about 80% of the conversation that you have when you're texting sellers or texting your customers, there are predictable conversations, questions like who are you, what's your offer, and things like that. However, when it's not confident on how to reply, it's going to get back to me, and I as a human is going to decide what to say. So here are the steps. Step number 1, AI is going to text for 6 hours, and it's going to text and reply to sellers with basic conversations and try to get them to open up so they can give us their price. Step number 2, I'm going to analyze all the messages that come through, and then after that, I'm going to send offers based on another AI automation that I've built, where it analyzes all the comparables in the area and gives me a price I should offer on that property. I'm going to send those offers out, and then after that, tomorrow, we're going to get back to it and see how many people accepted their offer or how many people just said you can go screw yourself. So let me set up this AI, and I'll see you guys in 6 hours. Alright guys, so we're about a 3-hour mark right now. I've done a lot of things in between this time. I made some food. I worked on a renovation of an Airbnb that we're doing. I've been running around like crazy with contract. I've been doing a lot of things. And while I was doing that, ChatGPT and I have been texting so far relentlessly. At the moment, as you can see, there's a ton of messages that I need to answer still. But right now, I don't want to dispose of them yet. It's still early in the process, but I might just clean it up a little bit. So a lot of them are like round numbers and things like that. I'm going to remove those and then see if I can go ahead and actually get some deals pushed to the CRM and to see how many actually leads AI has been able to find. Alright guys, so it has been almost 6 hours and there's a tons of messages to go through. I already saw that there's some messages that are gonna work out. The cool thing about the system that I created, it filters out a lot of like useless messages. So a lot of times you're not gonna see just the typical round number messages. There will be some here and there, but overall it's gonna be mostly messages that require my attention. So I'm going to play some YouTube right here. I have some comfort YouTubers that I'm going to watch in the background. I don't know if you guys do that. I always like to put something on the background as I'm working, especially if I'm just doing some routine work. Unless I'm like brainstorming or creating stuff, obviously I can't do, it has to be just music. But I like to play some YouTube on the background. So I'm gonna put some YouTube and I'm gonna go ahead and jump in to see what are the results of today's texting. The next step would be to send in offers to those people based on the comparables that the AI will find. Alright guys, so yeah, I've been replying and looking at the messages, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of messages coming through are just like raw numbers and things like that, which is like not AI's fault. That's just part of the business, part of skip tracing. It's so hard to find skip tracing that it's like super solid. I don't think out of any skip tracing that I ever used, I've ever found one that's like there's no raw numbers. They're always going to be there, just you try to minimize them as much as possible. But overall, looking at this, there's been some funny responses for sure. This is probably the hilarious, obviously, response is Nanya. So the AI was like, Nanya, what do you mean? I'm just gonna not respond. That's not a real word. So it just decided not to. Obviously, when people asked for it to call, he decided not to call, obviously. There's some that, like, for example, this person, they said make an offer, and the AI answered, I don't set prices, that's up to my boss. What price would you sell for? And I actually have set up this as a way for the AI to respond, because I feel like this is a good way to kind of push back, because when someone says make an offer, we don't want to just throw an offer. And this has worked in the past a lot, but this time it didn't work that well. So we're gonna see tomorrow, based on the comps that the AI will run, are any of these properties that we found today were good? And you're gonna see the whole statistic result as well. So we'll see you in the morning. All right, guys, so looking at it, when we started, we had 5,607 messages remaining. We only have 2,804 remaining. So the system have sent 2,800 messages, initial messages, just initial message, right? So this is not replies or anything like that with whatever 5 hours that I have set it up for. Within those 5 hours, we've been able to, without any human interaction, right? So I didn't convince anyone, didn't do anything. We have been able to find what I would say is a good amount of leads. So when we started this, we had 15 leads that were pushed to Podio, because this was a campaign that I've done before, but we haven't finished it, obviously. Now we added 13 more. So out of this 13, here's where it becomes kind of interesting, and it's not really AI's fault. Multiple that were too much, multiple that were way too much. So too much is like, hey, maybe in the future we can reach back to them. Way too much, it's a property that is like huge that I don't really want to deal with. They're big properties that are too big for me to do something either way, right? So there's 2 that were no road, there was some that were too rural, and there was some that was no new construction nearby. So realistically, out of these leads, I can't convert any of them, but it's not the AI's fault. The fault is actually the list that I have pulled. This is a county I've never run before, so it's my first time doing it. So I'm really learning the county, trying to understand if it's worth doing long term. And based on what I'm seeing, maybe not. But just to give you an idea, ChatGPT has been responding when I was doing other stuff, when I was sleeping. There's been some responses late at night, like 11 p.m., some early as 5 a.m., because people have different schedules, and your VA or you cannot be always present. So ChatGPT has been able to do it, and the way that I have it set up, it kind of feels somewhat natural. I mean, they respond within 30 seconds of someone texting, which might feel a little weird. Maybe I would set up a bigger delay, but overall, I think it's not too bad. I will say that there's definitely were some conversations that ChatGPT had that were weird. Overall, I think it's just such a great tool. If you fine tune this to the point where it handles most of your conversations and maybe even more than 80%, right? Because it's all about you teaching the model to respond how you want it to respond. And it just takes a little bit of time. I mean, I've created the system over the span of like 6 to 8 months. So it really took me a long time to create the system. And this is what we've been using for the past, again, maybe 5 months. We've been using this full time. It does a big difference. And here's the kicker. You know what this cost me? So we sent 2,800 initial messages. We found 15 leads. Let's say there were, even if 2 or 3 of them were good leads, if this was a different county or a different list, that would be so solid, because at all of this texting, 2,800 leads initial plus all the responses only cost me $25. I mean, I don't think you can beat that. If you use any other platform or whatever it is, you can't beat that. I'm self-hosted on NAN. I created my own Airtable. All of that, it's done through ChatGPT and through NAN and through Airtable. And the way I have created it works out really awesome. I have my own carrier that I really like, better than Twilio, actually. So really cool, really cool. So if you guys ever want to learn more about it, leave in the comments down below. I'm happy to talk about that. Overall, I do believe this was a success. I think that the system does what it needs to do. It can be fine-tuned, and AI totally is here long-term. And if I was a virtual assistant that is doing texting or cold calling, I would be concerned, because you would need to learn how to use AI for your benefit. You can't go against the grain with the innovations, so you just have to be with the grain. You have to go with the flow of innovation. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.